Part 25. I'm just being paid to be on a dating show, why do you choose me? Author, Chingjomi Esi. Chapter 243. In the warm-toned office, the constant temperature air conditioner quietly maintains the most comfortable temperature for humans. However, Myrna took off her coat unconsciously, probably because she was a little hot due to emotional fluctuations. Myrna has a typical female appearance in Guangdong and Guangxi, with a soft facial contour, slightly inward eye sockets, and a bit of natural storytelling. In other words, she is very photogenic, and the director likes to shoot such women the most. The show is over, but she did not leave. For the first time, she listened carefully to the analysis of the show in the observation room and read some barrages. As the barrage said, half of this episode tells about Chen Shen saving his family's business, and the other half writes a song for Su Mo with a very exaggerated talent. This is indeed not showing off. If Chen Shen wants to show off, he would have shown this point long ago. Before being slapped in the face, the guest in the observation room said that if Chen Shen could write songs, he would have debuted in Heijin. This song Late Marriage is more like being forced out, and it is about his relationship with those female guests. Myrna picked up her phone and glanced at the group that was still discussing before. It turns out that Su Mo's vision is somewhat unique. Don't worry too much. We don't really know Chen Shen. If you insist on me saying how bad he is, I really can't define him. No, this is a sudden turn of events. I admit that Chen Shen's song has something, but he used Fang Ye to appease Su Yuan and moved Xia King Ai in advance. Isn't he still a scumbag? You are still young, it's normal that you don't understand. I used to think that his worldview was because I couldn't understand why he went to Huanyu. If what the observation room said is right, then he is a very responsible person. Yes, in fact, we are subjective. If you try to substitute Chen Shen, this matter is not difficult to understand. He can convince Su Mo and Qin Wenzi, and can also write a level of late marriage song, he really can't be a fool. He must know that he will be scolded, but he just chose an option that is more important than being scolded. Hey, it's a bit hasty. Let's talk about the results. Chen Shen went to Huanyu. It was Huanyu who was scolded, but Huanyu's stock rose. I don't think he can't end it. Didn't you notice? Xia King Ai's Weibo fans are already the highest among idols. Su Yuan's fan increase speed on Xia Hongshu has also set a record. And the Chen hotpot invested by Su Mo has now become Qin Fangyu. Will Qin Fangyu not be popular after this episode? It's true that he was scolded, but everyone else made a profit. How can this not end? I finished watching the whole episode, and I became an ordinary person, right? Myrna laughed out loud, and the chat record ended here. These people may act on impulse, but there are not many real fools. If the wind direction is wrong, they will immediately clear themselves. Does Chen Shen still need to be whitewashed? Myrna thinks it's not necessary. This kind of Chen Shen is the best Chen Shen. Controversy is a strong memory point for people with ability. You can scold or praise him, but you have to admit that he is awesome. Myrna clicked on Weibo, but didn't click in. Myrna was stunned, and then realized that there might be too many people on Weibo. Myrna clicked 5 or 6 times before clicking in. This is one of her small accounts, and many people she follows have posted on Weibo. A scumbag writes love songs, it's really cool. This is a Weibo post from a producer that Myrna follows. Have you watched the show? I thought the last episode was the peak, but it was just an appetizer. In a short period of time, there will definitely be no variety show that can surpass Love This Lesson. Zhao Chunsheng, you really give Chen Shen a kowtow, I'm really envious. This is a Weibo post from a director that Myrna follows. Can anyone tell me if Qin Fangyu has become popular? This is a Weibo post from an actor that Myrna follows. Does anyone know Chen Shen? I really never scolded him. Can you ask him to make a better arrangement for that song and put it on the shelves? This was a Weibo post from a singer that Myrna followed. Yuhan Hotel, Su Mo came back late. A meeting was held in the evening. Qinfangyu's second batch of stores will start tomorrow. This time it is not just in Sichuan and Chongqing. All Chen hotpot stores are closed. Those with qualified positions are immediately changed to Qinfangyu, and those with unqualified positions are directly eliminated. Su Mo roughly estimated that this is a relatively large workload. She can still keep an eye on the Sichuan and Chongqing areas, and Chen Qinyu and Chen Fengzi will be responsible for other areas. At 10:30, Su Mo glanced at the next door when she swiped her card. After thinking about it, it was a bit too late, so she didn't say hello to Chen Shen. There were a lot of messages on the phone, and Su Mo had ignored them before. It's normal, after all, today is the day when the program is online. Su Mo can ignore other messages, but she can't ignore the messages from her family. You're working hard in a foreign place. If you have any difficulties at work, feel free to call me. Seeing this message, Su Mo smiled. It was sent by her father. Her father was a relatively tactful person, or he respected himself more. On the surface, it was a very ordinary caring message, but Su Mo knew her father. Every time he showed his concern, there were some unspeakable words behind his back. Tell me, what's the matter? Su's father replied almost immediately, nothing, I'm just worried that you will encounter difficulties in a foreign place. Su Mo, okay, I know, I'll take a rest then. Father Su, Chen Shen is a talented person. Su Mo smiled and started typing, I asked you to say it but you didn't. Don't you believe your daughter? Father Su, it's okay, actually. I just talked about you with some friends. There seem to be a lot of people paying attention to him and you. I'm afraid you'll feel pressured. Don't I know you? I just want to say that this is okay. Sumo's smile bloomed quietly. She knew her father. He was gentle and elegant to his family and the outside world, but he also had some small thoughts. He seemed to agree with you, but in fact he was trying to get you to say something. What's wrong? Do you hope your daughter finds a scumbag? Father Su, from the show, he is quite sensible. Su Mo was stunned, are you serious? Father Su, I may have a different perspective. He may have put himself on the fire. Signing Huanyu also seems to weaken his own elements to highlight you. Such people are a bit idealistic. If they are idealistic without ability, they must be kept away. But if they are both capable and idealistic, I really admire such people. Su Mo didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She had spent a lot of effort to make a breakthrough with his family, but that guy made a breakthrough with his family effortlessly. Did you find out something? Su Mo asked again by typing. Father Su, ha ha ha, can you hide that from me? You dare to say you didn't touch Huanyu's stock? I was a little confused these days, wondering why you touched Huanyu's stock. After Chen Shen's song came out, I seemed to understand a little bit. I have an absolutely objective perspective. When looking at people, I first look at their background. If the general direction is fine, then look at their behavior. If he doesn't take over the family business and wants to go to the entertainment industry, it means that he thinks his advantage is in the entertainment industry. Then look at the interim results. The love variety show is a hit, and the song I wrote for you can also be a hit. Do you remember what I told you? Su Mo let out a long sigh. This is his father, a man who dared to let his daughter start looking for companies that can be listed for investment when she was in college. I know. Either don't move, or go all out. Father Su, yes, that's what I mean when I say you feel you have difficulties. Feel free to find me when you are in trouble. You will only be better than me. I will always believe in you, and you will always be my pride. So, if someone around you doesn't understand, just let them think about it. Sue Mo leaned against the sofa, looking at the text on the phone with a soft look. After she started doing things on her own, she rarely expressed her feelings to her father. The father was the same, but he must have felt deeply touched after saying so much today. It may be the first time that he felt that his daughter seemed to be really moving towards another person. Sue Mo opened Chen Shen's dialogue box. Sister Mo, if you get off work so late again in the future, I will go to the company to make trouble. I don't allow anyone in this world to be more ambitious than me. Sue Mo, who was a little sad, laughed out loud, and then muttered, he is not as good as you think. He went to Huanyu to do bad things. I wanted to reply to Chen Shen's message, but a somewhat unfamiliar dialogue box flashed. Myrna, Boss Sue, do you still remember me? Sue Mo really recalled it carefully, and then she remembered this person named Myrna. The main reason was that they didn't have much intersection, and she couldn't remember her Chinese name, but she remembered that her surname was Ten. She was a family that had undergone a qualitative change by riding the big car of Penguin Group in the early years, and later had intersections with the Su family in the investment field. The most recent memory was that I met her at a private charity dinner several years ago. She joined Penguin Video. Good evening, Sister Myrna. Sue Mo's reply was concise. Myrna, good evening, I'm sorry to bother you, just to know one thing. Chen Shen doesn't seem to be doing well in Huanyu. I want to consult Boss Su. If I am willing to help him get out of the fire pit, will he be willing? Sue Mo frowned. On the surface, it seemed to be a consultation, but in fact it was only a test. No wonder her father said those words to her. People in this circle really pay attention to her. Get out of the fire pit? Sue Mo smiled. The fire pit is the Penguin side, right? Xiaoqing I's peak period was spent on Penguin Video. On the surface, he had plenty of resources, but he didn't produce any works. Sue Mo typed, I don't know if he is willing, but I definitely don't want to. I'm just being paid to be on a dating show, why do you choose me? Author, Qingzhou Se. Chapter 244. Chen Shen didn't feel the sensation caused by the 6th issue of Lianzong until noon the next day. He was sitting on the desk in his suite office, typing away at the script. Winter seemed to have come for a long time, but also seemed to arrive suddenly. Chen Shen added a sweater to himself. My phone vibrated for a while. I took it over and saw that it was a message from my sister. There were at least a dozen of them, including the first few photos of Qin Fangyu Hotpot's store. Chen Shen looked at the time. It was still a few minutes before 12 o'clock, but there was no empty seat. It was full of people. Before that, even if it was full, it was only at night. Behind them are some small notes taken by mobile phones, all of which are densely packed with small words. My sister said it was left by the guests. After watching the show last night, I went back and watched the previous episodes. Maybe I really misunderstood you. Maybe Mian is special to you because you are really special. I tried to find my own emotions and found that any scene where you are alone is actually very similar to Mian, and you feel like you are out of place. Maybe it is because of this that Yuan ignored you at first. He tried to act as a substitute. Many scenes are indeed unreasonable, and all fools know that. You will be scolded if you let a girl cook and play by herself. I used to think you just wanted to take this black and red route, but now I find that it seems that it is really not necessary. I am different from them. I am Qin Fangyu who came here for you. I hope there is also such a person around me who can choose between the misunderstandings of the world and me. Also, Qin Fangyu is delicious. I seem to feel that this store is slowly in your mind when you and Yuan go to the night market. Take shape, so don't be autistic. If you don't want to use social media, just don't use it. Just the information on the first note made Chen Shen stunned. He himself didn't believe that there were people who would like him after watching the drama. Chen Shen leaned back in his chair. To be honest, he was actually a little emotional today because today is the first day of 2026 in the Gregorian calendar, New Year's Day. Before I knew it, it was already half a year later. It is difficult for a person to live a good life without the memories and emotional support formed by experiences. For example, when I woke up this morning, I felt a little empty for no reason. After seeing the New Year's Day messages from Qingyi and Mian, and checking in with each other by skipping rope with Sister Mo, Chen Shen's condition improved. In his previous life, he occasionally read those dramas and novels, saying that after time travel, he could immediately integrate into the world with another identity. Chen Shen felt that these were all nonsense. For example, now, except for my sister, I don't have that strong sense of intimacy with any of my relatives, including Chen Ruxi. Instead, thanks to Lianzong, I have a lot of emotional dependence on them deep down. Before going to bed last night, were you still thinking about calling Su Yuan? Later I stopped and thought about sending a message directly this morning. I held back again. If it was just pure lust and liking, Chen Shen wouldn't suppress his emotions like this and would express whatever he wanted. It is precisely because of more than this that he has to suppress it. For Yuan, there is no perfect solution for him and himself, and the cycle will continue if he is coaxed. Chen Shen feels that his greatest sincerity is to give her the initiative. Big scumbag, I'm here to eat your hot pot. I'm not here because of you. I'm here because of Yuan. I specially ordered a basket of the same night buns you guys ate. Can you use the money you earned from me, give it to Yuan, haha. I always feel that you want to make Yuan sad. Someone on the internet said that if you win in the end, it means you took the initiative to choose the path of being scolded. If the end result is that you have to wash your hands by yourself, then you are just putting on a one-man show. I am so torn. I don't want anyone to be sad, but I also don't want to destroy the little bit of recognition I finally had for you. In the end, the love song of the big scumbag is really good. You are amazing. Chen Shen smiled and then started typing, Sister, did you choose and send it to me? Chen, can you be confident? I've chosen it and sent it to you. Chen Shen, Chen, can you, Happy New Year's Day, we are all busy, you can have fun by yourself. Chen Shen replied with a hand-spreading emoji, feeling a little warm in his heart. Today is a big day, but Qin Fangyu has been very busy recently, so she found a few small notes to make herself happy and sent them to me. Chen Shen clicked on Weibo. After a night of fermentation, this moment is the real carnival. Scumbag is just his most inconspicuous label. This entry is the most searched. This is the third time that a hot search entry about Chen Shen has ranked first. Chen Shen clicked in and found that not only amateurs were discussing this entry. I watched this show after being recommended by friends several times. Until the latest episode last night, I really had a crush on Chen Shen, despite the world's disapproval. Especially last night's episode, the line of logic was very clearly, Chen Hotpot's life and death is at stake, and Su Mo is willing to give it a chance. For a man, this means more than the so-called emotions between men and women. I despise the saying on the internet that everyone wants it all. This is not only for female guests. Disrespect is also disrespectful to yourselves. Chen Shen also noticed it. He knew that if it was broadcast like this, many people would look down on Su Mo, and then they would start staying up late and forcefully play a song about late marriage. This episode really hits my spot. A person who has never released a song, because his family's career has ushered in a new life, he fully devotes himself to standing from Su Mo's perspective and writes the most idealistic marriage to her. Not only did he take the position in advance to prevent Su Mo from being looked down upon, but he also explained to Su Mo why she appeared in the love variety show. With this song, everything seems so natural. If you only see Chen Shen's scum, then I really feel sorry. This is a hot comment from a big V, which has attracted many people's approval. At this point in the show, the discussion about Chen Shen is no longer limited to whether he is a scum or not. Chen Shen's scum has been talked about a lot when the hot search innate scum body was popular. Later, there was a hot search please stay away from Chen Shen, people all over the country. This hot search is actually no longer just about the word scum. Being able to handle women is called scum, and being able to handle men is more or less charismatic. After continuous discussion and certification in this episode, many viewers have a deeper understanding of Chen Shen. More and more people are beginning to agree with the point of view, that is, Chen Shen was scolded, and it may be intentional to a large extent. As the small note left by the people who went to Qin Fangyu for dinner said, even a fool knows that he will be scolded if he plays while the female guest is cooking. Chen Shen is not worse than a fool, right? Then there are various clues about getting along with the female guests. With Mian, he has been guiding them to be good friends, but they are getting closer and closer by accident. With Su Yuan, he wanted to stop at the critical moment, but found that he couldn't stop. And Xia King Ai, he was really afraid of affecting Xia King Ai's future, so he went to grab the camera with the program group. If these are all coincidences, then what about Su Mo in this episode? Just like the hot comments posted by the Big V, he was afraid that everyone would look down on Su Mo, so he racked his brains to force out a most idealistic song about women facing marriage to tell the whole network that Su Mo will wait for the only soul that fits. Looking back at Chen Shen's scumbag behavior, it seems that there is a deep meaning. For example, he told Su Yuan that as long as she was willing, he would continue to eat and play with her, and emphasized that this statement was sincere. He also told Xia King Ai that he would make her fine. Although it has not been directly reflected, the audience is already wondering how Chen Shen will make Xia King Ai fine. In fact, Chen Shen and Su Mo can already draw a small period in the program, and this little story has also come to an end. Of course, this story is still continuing under the program. Su Mo turned Chen Hotpot into Qin Fangyu, and Chen Shen also added another color to the name Su Mo. I was moved by the song Late Marriage and was amazed at the mutual achievement between the two adults. This is another hot comment. In fact, it's really okay whether it's a scumbag or not, after all, it can't affect me, but isn't it a bit too biased to only write songs for Sister Mo? Many people liked this comment, and many people replied to him, saying that his calculations were too low level. If it is really as analyzed by the observation room, Chen Go's favorite may be Zhou Ji. This comment also received a lot of likes. Reverse thinking, right? Chen Go is nice to everyone except Zhou Ji, so it's about the same as Chen Go loves Zhou Ji. Ha ha ha, I'm laughing to death, shocked, Zhou Ji may become the biggest winner of the love variety show. Don't tell me, why else would Chen Go to Huanyu? This can never be explained. Ha ha ha, smart people are already waiting for the stock market to open next Monday. Huanyu's stock will soar 100%. Chen Shen exited this entry, a little side, at least under this entry, there are really not many people scolding. Thinking carefully, it seems normal, this is the internet. No matter how much you hate someone, you can't scold him for a month. Those who scold mean that their emotions have accumulated to a certain extent, either venting them at Huanyu, or paying attention to Xia King Ai or Su Yuan. In order to feel more comfortable, they must vent their emotions, and maybe they will show it to Xia King Ai and Su Yuan. Scrolling down, there are various hot search terms, such as Qin Fangyu, will penguin be open for business, late marriage, etc. The popularity of dating variety shows is still in an absolute dominant stage. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I'm just being paid to be on a dating show, why do you choose me? Author, Qingzhou Mi Se. Chapter 245. On the weekend, in a high-end community on Bibin Road, Pan Hongji leaned against the refrigerator and watched Su Yuen, who was wearing an apron, cooking. During this period of time, Su Yuen suddenly changed from a person who could only scramble eggs and fried rice to a chef of home-cooked meals. When frying hot and sour potato shreds, you will also make your own hot and sour sauce, and you also need to pay attention to the texture of the potato shreds. There is also Su Yuen's special garlic sauce, which is very fragrant. Just boil some vegetables and then add some garlic sauce. It is delicious and beautiful. So, love makes people grow, especially failed love, Pan Hongji sighed. Su Yuen rolled his eyes. Although I want to face this matter head on, you don't have to take the opportunity to talk about it, right? I dreamed of him last night, but it turned out to be you the next second. Haha, isn't that very effective? If you go see Lianzone now, I guarantee you won't cry. The night before yesterday, Pan Hongji accompanied Su Yuen to watch the episode of Love.com. Pan Hongji and Su Yuen had a good relationship. After the broadcast of Love.com, Su Yuen's condition may have been average. Her parents even specially found her to let her know more. It's nice to be with you. This is no longer the kind of revolutionary friendship that goes from college to society, but the kind that breaks into the other person's family. If Pan Hongji goes to Su Yuen's house at night, Su Yuen's parents will make her bed by default. This is why Su Yuen's parents are relieved that Su Yuen will rent a house, because they have good friends with them. Pan Hongji's feelings for Chen Shen depended entirely on Su Yuen. At first, Su Yuen said it was okay, so it was okay. Later, Su Yuen said anything was okay, so everything was okay. Later, Su Yuen was tormented and kept crying. Pan Hongji said to Chen Shen, I completely lost my favor. She has a typical Yuzhou girl's personality. What's wrong with her handsome appearance? What happened to having money? If you don't like it, it's none of my business. She and Su Yuen were able to analyze clearly what kind of boyfriend to look for, but when it came to herself, she was also a muggle. Su Yuen wanted to face this matter head-on and took the initiative to watch the drama. As a result, he burst into tears while watching it. Pan Hongji was also infected later, and the two of them hugged each other and cried. One is crying and asking why you lied to me, and the other is crying and shouting that he doesn't want to fall in love in this life, and even the King of Heaven, and I won't talk about it. I also think I won't cry anymore. After crying, I slept well in the past 2 days. Pan Hongji nodded. Think about it, if he is true to you, how could he not look for you? As long as he doesn't look for you, it means he doesn't love you. This is an iron rule. Su Yuen's hand holding the vegetables with chopsticks paused for a moment before continuing to arrange the dishes. As long as you don't find her, you don't love her. Does he think so too? Doesn't it make sense? It's different after signing with a company. Now there are fewer people scolding him online. Hey, this is a disaster that will last for thousands of years, Pan Hongji complained while serving food. At the dinner table, the two of them sit next to each other. They are good friends and get along very casually. They will set up a tablet next to them and watch dramas if they don't want to chat. The 3 dishes are all ordinary home-cooked dishes, but they are already delicious. As usual, Pan Hongji flipped through Su Yuen's little red book when he had time, and said while eating, it's not like no one scolded you, there are still many people scolding you from your fans. Su Yuen chewed the rice in small sips, and his thoughts began to wander unconsciously. How many fans do I have now? Su Yuen asked. Speaking of this, Pan Hongji immediately became excited. It will be 5 million soon. This is Xia Hongshu. You know, Yu Yanan is the #1 actress among post-2000s actresses. She only has 12 million fans in Xia Hongshu. After saying this, Pan Hongji saw that Su Yuen's expression was dull and not excited at all, so he silently pushed away the tablet. After taking a few mouthfuls of rice, Pan Hongji looked at Su Yuan. Otherwise, you can call him directly. If he is really serious about you and tells you word for word, Chen Shen really likes you, Su Yuan, then let's don't be pretentious, but don't engage in clandestine love. If he doesn't care about you anymore, then let's let it go. No matter what, I'll be with you. Su Yuan started to pick up the food. This conversation had happened countless times between the two of them, and she was almost used to it. How about it? Don't eat? Su Yuan reached out and handed over his mobile phone, then you call. Shall I fight? I'm sick. Pan Hongji waved his hands repeatedly, and then sighed, I knew it. I'm stuck here every time. I want to put it down but can't let it go. I want to take the initiative but can't. This kind of feeling is the most torture. People, I'm just afraid that you'll cry and cry on one side, while others will hug you on the other side. Su Yuan also sighed, do you know what I think? What do you think? Just let him hug and hug him. One day I will see it. Once I see it and know it, maybe I will give up. Pan Hongji was stunned for a moment, then put the food on his chopsticks into Su Yuan's bowl. Why bother? You might as well leave this kind of problem to him. Logically speaking, I should hate him, right? If someone lied to me in the past, I would have ignored him, but now that I think about it, there seems to be nothing to dislike. Didn't you always talk about my fan cohesion in Xiaohongshu? Are you particularly strong? In fact, this was also arranged by him. The posts with the most likes and the most comforts were posted for me. At the end of the show, the director said that he and Xiaoqing Ai were both actors. At that time, I thought it was over. Damn it, didn't everyone on the program team know that Chen Shen was lying to me? I wasn't watching the clown when they were recording. Su Yuan said lightly. Pan Hongji came over and squeezed Su Yuan's hand. Su Yuan looked at Pan Hongji and smiled, it's okay. How could a person like him not know my situation? First, he asked the director to take me to him, and then explained it to me in various ways. He also said that even if it was a lie, he would not lie for a lifetime. I was confused at the time. I didn't know what to do. He didn't pester me. After letting me lie down to rest, he went to collect my luggage and insisted on carrying my suitcase out of the villa. He was so stupid. He just wanted the staff to see his attitude in front of me and support me. Pan Hongji seemed to have a picture in her mind. When she went to pick it up that day, Chen Shen's hand was on the suitcase. Pan Hongji opened her mouth, but before she could say it, Su Yuan said again, I know what you want to say. I don't have the confidence. I used to think that he could choose me between Su Mo, Xiaoqing Ai and Su Mian, so how important am I to him? Without this prerequisite, how can you let me compare with them? Pan Hongji started to pick up food for Su Yuan again. She wanted to say a few stupid words. Why can't she compare? We are all human beings, who is nobler than who? But after watching the Love Variety show, I have already had an understanding. There are also various inventories on the internet. They say that Su Mian's family is worth tens of billions, and Su Mo's family is even more exaggerated. It is worth tens of billions just by summarizing a certain outstanding field. In comparison, Xiaoqing Ai is indeed much worse, but she is a star, and a well-behaved top idol. Not to mention that he and Yuan face them, Chen Shen may also feel pressured when facing them. Do you still watch the Love Variety show? Pan Hongji asked. Watch it, why not? I face this matter directly because I don't want to make myself so entangled. I don't see it or look for it. Can't I watch it? Then hurry up and eat. Su Yuan was stunned. Why hurry up and eat? It won't be until next week. Pan Hongji, the finale was pre-ordered at 1 p.m., and it was only on the hot search in the morning. I'm just being paid to be on a dating show, why do you choose me? Author, Qingzhou Se. Chapter 246. Su Yuan cooks and Pan Hongji washes the dishes. This is the tacit understanding between the two during this period. Su Yuan sat cross-legged on the sofa and turned on the TV, but she did not watch it immediately, but waited for Pan Hongji to finish cleaning up. Clicking on Weibo, the advance on-demand broadcast of Love Lesson is indeed on the hot search terms. Not only did she not watch programs before, she rarely read Weibo. She always felt that others should not look at her like a little fool. In fact, it's not bad. The most popular one in the first issue was Sister Mo. Starting from the second issue, Zhou Gaikan took over. In the third issue, it was Xiaoqing Ai. Then Chen Shen's popularity took over. This also made Su Yuan relieved. It was not that she cared about this, but that her family did. At least to the audience, no one thought she was Su Yuan being stupid. Pan Hongji came out of the kitchen and put a plate of tomatoes on the coffee table. Seeing Su Yuan scrolling through Weibo, he took the remote control and said, "Weibo is nothing interesting. The most discussed thing now is how he ends up. On the contrary, fewer and fewer people scolded me." Su Yuan said oh, and then put down the phone. Pan Hongji sighed and shook his head. He held the remote control and pressed it on the TV. Then he picked up his mobile phone and scanned the QR code to pay. The advanced on-demand video cost 5 yuan. While she was cleaning up in the kitchen, she had been thinking about the matter between her best friend and Chen Shen. The method she used before was to scold Chen Shen, saying that this was wrong and that Chen Shen was wrong, but it seemed useless. Should I be sad or sad? Should I be sad or sad? When he went out to buy groceries and met strangers in the supermarket and chatted about Chen Shen, Su Yuan would always stop and listen to a few words. Now Pan Hongji understood that in fact, every time he said something wrong about Chen Shen, Su Yuan was trying to say goodbye to him in his heart, so he felt sad and sad. However, Chen Shen has already taken over her life. According to her best friend, Chen Shen already knew that the audience would feel sorry for her, and even took the initiative to operate it with her best friend's Xiaohongshu account. There is no man, but the career is blooming, which should be a huge buffer, but now the career is blooming with the help of men. Pan Hongji rolled up his sleeves, "Don't be sad, don't be sad. I'm going to see how he ends up today. Bystanders know clearly that if I think this person is right, I will give it a try even if I stand in front of him. Anyone in this world everything can be objective, but feelings are subjective." Su Yuan burst out laughing. Pan Hongji glanced at Su Yuan and complained inwardly, "You were sad when you scolded Chen Shen. Now you are a little more objective and start laughing. Is that bitch so powerful?" After the commercial, the camera went to the observation room. In the past, everyone was very excited and danced at the beginning of every issue, but this time they were not so excited. "Lin Tong, it's the finale. I'm very excited, but also very nervous. Can you understand the heart of a host? I really love this show. After more than 10 years of working in the industry, this is the first time I know that a program can do this. I know that Chen Shen will definitely be scolded when the show is broadcast, and I couldn't help scolding him in my heart when he was on their second date, not to mention the audience. But at this moment, I love him very much. Lin Tong, after the recording of the last episode, I reviewed our program very carefully. In fact, every line of the entire program is related to Chen Shen. I think everyone who sees it now will not feel that this program isn't the show exciting. In other words, Chen Shen is responsible for almost all the excitement of this show, so I also ask the audience to be a little tolerant to him. It's really not easy." After the host spoke, the cameras switched to the program. In the early morning in the mountains, especially when it is cloudless, the green color is particularly conspicuous. Chen Shen stood in front of a tent with a thermos bucket early in the morning. He opened the zipper curtain. Xia King Ai's head appeared and let Chen Shen in. In the next scene, Chen Shen and Su Yuan came out together. Previously, the main conversation in the observation room was between Chen Shen and Su Yuan. The host's emotional speech was also based on what Chen Shen had already begun to finish. Late marriage brought Su Mo and him to a small end on the show, but what about the others? Especially Su Yuan. All of Chen Shen's letters so far have been given to Su Yuan. Even if he holds hands with Su Yuan, what's the end result? There must be a question mark. Not only did Xia King Ai get a kiss, but there was also a proactive hug from Chen Shen. Then he and Su Yuan pretended to be fake and really left the scene holding hands. Does it fit? How about not holding hands? That's pure fraud. Do you still dare to develop in the entertainment industry? Not to mention the observation room, the audience is watching with trepidation now. The small waterfalls in the mountains flowed down sparsely until they reached a C-shaped deep pool. Chen Shen and Su Yuan appeared on the periphery of the pool. One is standing and the other is squatting, both of them seem to have something on their minds. Su Yuan looked at Chen Shen. Don't you think you expect me to continue to pretend to be confused? Chen Shen looked at Su Yuan but didn't answer. Gee, Chen Go will definitely fall into Yuan's hands. He is really in a dilemma in Yuan, and there is no way to solve it. Holding hands is a lie, not holding hands is still a lie, no matter how you can't escape this lie. Mad, I actually started to feel sorry for him. Can you believe it? Well, it's not that he doesn't want to confess to you, it's because he can't confess to you. So, at the end of this show, is he going to tell me that I can't be a scumbag? Let Chen Go die so that we can learn a lesson. Ha ha ha, I know how cool it was in the early stage, but how miserable Chen Go was in the later stage. Do you really think that giving a camera is a stupid drama? There were a lot of worries on the barrage, and a lot of people were gloating about his misfortune. Almost everyone felt that Chen Shen was a deadlock with Su Yuan, and that this was the price that a scumbag should bear. Even if you think about it from the perspective of the program team, you can't let the scumbag be arrogant from the beginning to the end, right? Under the camera, Su Yuan took a long breath. This feeling is very strange. Brother Ye told me. He said that your family's business is very big. Writing songs for Sister Mo is a sign of respect. I don't want the audience to think that Sister Mo is. I came here for you, but what should I do? Didn't I choose you because I wanted everything to happen slowly? It was only after you appeared that I felt like I was living a small life. Even suffering can become interesting, maybe we are the lucky ones. Su Yuan said this very slowly. The viewers who saw this had spent money, and most of them were willing to spend money. They also felt that it was their appeal to Penguin Video that made Penguin Video open on demand. Many of these viewers have watched it from beginning to end several times. In their eyes, what Su Yuan said is very important. She really chose Chen Shen between Zhou Gaikan and Chen Shen. At that time, even the audience thought Chen Shen was weak, let alone Su Yuan himself. When Chen Shen listened to this passage under the camera, he also had a complicated expression. Hey, you beast. It turns out that even scumbags can't bear it, ha ha ha. Look at our kindness and sincerity. This sentence is already a confession. Chen Go, does your conscience hurt? Maid, I'm already worried. Wait for me to buy some quick-acting heart-saving pills. This is a high-end game. In the living room, Pan Hongji pointed at some comments to Su Yuan. Su Yuan huddled up against the diagonal corner of the sofa. Looking at himself, he was indeed a bit silly. But Su Yuan's attention was on Chen Shen. So he's under so much pressure, Su Yuan muttered. Pan Hongji glared. In the camera, Chen Shen obviously adjusted before smiling. Su Yuan happened to look at Chen Shen. Are you still laughing? I'm so annoyed. Chen Shen sighed. then stepped forward and grabbed Su Yuan's hand without thinking about it. Then do you blame me? As soon as this move came out, the barrage exploded, and so did the observation room. Yu Zhongqian and Ling Yanhui, the two actors playing enemies, began to applaud. Ling Yanhui, warrior, you still dare to do this at this time, you are a first-class warrior. Yu Zhongqian, why? Why do you need to give me a reassurance? Jinan smiled and said, who knows, how many times have we understood his actions? Now when I encounter a situation that I don't understand, I first doubt myself. It must be that I can't keep up with Chen Shen, not his actions. There is some kind of problem. Many people originally called the barrage animals, but as soon as Jinan said this, they all started laughing. Back to the show. Su Yuan, I don't know, and I can't blame you. We were already in the stage of getting to know each other. You also said that you and Sister Mo were partners, but I didn't understand it at that time. Maybe it's because it's not convenient to talk about this kind of thing on the show. Chen Shen sighed, actually, I lied to you, but I emphasized every truth. Su Yuan pouted and shook the hand held by Chen Shen, who settled an old score with you. I asked you to find a way to resolve it, otherwise I feel that I have concerns about getting along with you. Chen Shen, then let me be honest with you, I don't want to be in catering, I want to be in the entertainment industry. Su Yuan was silent for a while. Can I understand that the family business has nothing to do with you? Chen Shen nodded, yes, that's understandable. Su Yuan sighed, do you think I'm a little weird? Just think of me as pretentious. I always want to keep that special simplicity and a little proud choice. Really, I've thought about it, but actually I don't. Although I don't like my current job, I feel quite promising during this time. At the end of the sentence, Su Yuan even smiled sheepishly. There are a lot of sighs in the observation room's voiceover. How could Chen Shen's songwriting for Su Mo have no impact? Yuan's becoming more proactive is actually the reason why his sense of security has decreased. What is she looking forward to? Isn't it you, Chen Shen? Jinan, I seem to understand a little bit. It has indeed reached the stage where I can't let go. No matter what I choose, it seems that I can't deal with it coldly. The host sighed, then let me curse the audience first, what a scumbag. Ling Yanhui looked at the director, shouldn't you scold the director? With this group of people, you would look good normally, so why do you have to do this? Yu Zhongqian immediately retorted, actually, it's not bad. Normally, there is no song late marriage. The barrage was a bit heavy at first, but slowly relaxed, and they all complained, scumbags are the number one productive force, right? I'm just being paid to be on a dating show, why do you choose me? Author, Qingzhou Mi Se. Chapter 247. The two walked hand in hand to the bottom of the small waterfall, where there was a small stone arch bridge. There are green mountains on both sides, and the small waterfall is a smooth vertical stone wall. They were obviously holding hands and both of them had smiles on their faces, but the audience couldn't laugh. Su Yuan, I seem to understand. Your song is not just for Sister Mo. Chen Shen, absolutely. Su Yuan chuckled, why don't you forget it? The food in the entertainment industry is not that delicious. If it doesn't work, we will go behind the scenes. Chen Shen, why? Su Yuan started to clasp his fingers, she is good looking, a good person, and writes good songs. Logically speaking, she is well qualified to join the entertainment industry, but she was ruined by this show, ha ha ha. Chen Shen laughed, and after a long time he said, it doesn't matter, I'll sacrifice it to myself at worst. Su Yuan looked over, what do you mean? Chen Shen stretched and said, you will know later. The cameras switched to other people, and the barrage was extremely active. Even in advance on demand, the barrage was as dense as a gust of wind. Well, there's a good chance that he won't be crippled by the show, but by you. Maid, it feels so good to read this now. Every word feels like a boomerang and a bet destined to fail. It's really good looking. According to this battle, it's hard to say who will win and who will lose. In the last issue, Chen Go really relied on his own ability to regain a lot of his reputation. However, there are Xiaoqing Ai and Su Yuan in front of them. If you can't handle any of them, just GG. Some fans are still saying that the variety show bought the hot search to block the popularity of their brother's drama. I just spent these $5 begging Penguin. As long as the other show team forces it to be unfinished, this variety show will be in my heart. It's already an insurmountable talent. I feel that Chen Go himself is aware of this. He chose to lie to Yuan because he probably thought that Yuan had the least background and the lowest price. However, he also gave his biggest weakness to Yuan. There are not many shots of the resort. Su Mo plays with Mian, and Fang Ye plays with Zhong Wenbei. These two are the most relaxing. They are either going up the mountain or down the stream. Xiaoqing can't see anyone, and Zhou Gaiken's whole body they all seemed haggard and unshaven. On the barge, Fang Ye and Zhong Wenbei were fine, especially Zhou Gaiken, who seemed to have the greatest impact on Chen Shen's late marriage song. At noon, everyone started packing their things and getting in the car. During the entire scene of returning home, everyone could see Chen Shen's state with the naked eye. He was either sleeping or looking out the car window in a daze, and he didn't react at all when someone called him. In the living room, Su Yuan frowned slightly when he saw this scene. What was he doing at that time? She recalled a circle, as if she was talking to Xiaoqing Ai with a walkie-talkie, and she didn't pay attention to Chen Shen's state at all. She was the one who experienced it. She used to see it from her own perspective, but now from the camera, Chen Shen seemed to be under a lot of pressure. On the screen, there was a special effect of pulling down the black curtain. When it rose again, a series of subtitles appeared, counting down one day to the final confession. Chen Shen got up early for a run as usual, but everyone got up very early today. By the time Chen Shen finished his run and went to take a shower and change clothes, Su Yuan had already cooked the noodles and brought them to Chen Shen on the small table on the terrace outside. Chen Shen and Su Yuan sat opposite each other. Chen Shen began to eat noodles, while Su Yuan held up his chin and watched him eat. The barrage is full of exclamation points. It's the last day. It's your last day, and you're still like this. Maid, Chen Go won't forget his identity, right? Whether it's a fake show or a confession, it needs to be foreshadowed, brother. I'm so anxious. Where's Qingyi? Didn't you say you want Qingyi to be well? If you don't hold hands with Su Yuan, Qingyi will lose. If you hold hands with her, Qingyi will still lose. At this moment, the camera went inside the house. Previously, Zhou Gaiken was making sandwiches in the kitchen. Now he was seen walking out of the living room holding the sandwich in his hand like a little daughter-in-law. Then, with Su Yuan stunned, Zhou Gaiken put the sandwich in his hand in front of Chen Shen's noodle bowl. I made it myself, try it? The first person who couldn't help it was the observation room. I don't know who laughed first, and then the whole observation room was laughing happily. They had been struggling with Xiaoqing Ai and Su Yuan, but they unexpectedly missed Zhou Gaiken. Under the camera, Chen Shen stood up with a sandwich, and then went to the glass plank road with Zhou Gaiken. Su Yuan was still looking at the two of them with his mouth open. Not to mention the barrage, even Su Yuan in the show didn't understand this matter. However, Su Yuan reached out and pulled over the noodle bowl that Chen Shen had eaten, then lowered his head and took a sip of the soup. Another exclamation mark appeared on the barrage. On the glass plank road, there was a little wind, and Zhou Gaiken and Chen Shen stood next to each other. However, Zhou Gaiken did not look at Chen Shen. This matter may be a bit ridiculous for you. If you think about it carefully, we don't seem to have any conflicts. To put it in perspective, you are more attractive to girls. This has what's the big deal? I won't care about such trivial matters. What I care about is that you have no sense of propriety. I believe you understand this. Is it normal for our male guests to have opinions on who is dating four girls? People on the barrage were laughing, shouting that Brother Joe was going to do it. Don't go crazy and confess your love to Chen Shen, right? Chen Shen smiled and said, can you get straight to the point? Zhou Gaikan then looked at Chen Shen, anyway, our leader wants to see you, or what are your plans for the future? If possible, it's not like we can't cooperate. After Zhou Gaikan finished speaking, he had no confidence. Seeing that Chen Shen didn't respond, he added, I know, from your point of view, how good you are. Everyone likes you, and you can write good songs. You do have a bright future, it looks like a brocade, but our Huanyu is not bad either. We are very tolerant. We have cooperated with several TV stations and 3 major online video platforms, and we are also our company in Yuzhou. Forget it, I just want to say this to you. Just know that this is the case, I don't ask you for anything, it's just a favor. After Chen Shen laughed a few times, he said, Akan, I don't know what you think. Anyway, I have no objection to you, and it's not like I can't consider it. So, if you say 4 words to me, I will consider it. Zhou Gaikan, 4 words. Chen Shen nodded, if you tell me you are good, I will consider it. Someone in the observation room burst out laughing, and then the entire observation room started to laugh. The host laughed and sighed, you have no conscience. We are jumping up and down in a hurry. It's the last day, and you are still here making fun of Xiaozhou. Yu Zhongqian also laughed while answering, so, this is the reason why Chen Shen signed the contract with Joy. Is it really for Brother Joe? In the show, Zhou Gaikan stared at Chen Shen, and after a long time he said loudly, don't go too far. You want to trick me, right? I know you won't consider it. Chen Shen waved his hand, it's boring. You have already opened your mouth and I really refuse. You have arranged the time. Let's meet and have a chat. After saying that, Chen Shen turned around, walked a few steps, then turned back, picked up the sandwich in his hand and said to Zhou Gaikan, thank you. At that moment, the rising sun hit Zhou Gaikan's face, and his expression was so complicated. Zhou Gaikan, are you serious? Chen Shen had already walked to the ring road in the backyard and said with a smile, I'm just kidding. Zhou Gaikan finally had a smile on his face, as if it was the first time he smiled from the bottom of his heart to Chen Shen. He made a trumpet shape with his hands and said, you are awesome. Not far away, Chen Shen turned back, you're not bad either. Barrage explosion. What the hell? Are you playing? Chen Go, you are so hungry. Okay, the Lianzong succubus achievement has been achieved, and everyone has fallen. Maid, I didn't expect that there will be a lot of work in the last period. Brother Joe, you're already over and you're still not guaranteed. It made me laugh so hard, I actually saw pink bubbles. No, are you really here because of Brother Choose Joy? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I'm just being paid to be on a dating show, why do you choose me? Author, Qingzhou Mi Se. Chapter 248. In the living room, Pan Hongji burst out laughing. Zhou Gaikan, who had been talked about as ugly since the 2nd episode, reconciled with Chen Shen in the finale. Pan Hongji could hardly hold back her laughter at the words you are awesome and you are not bad either. It was not that her impression of Chen Shen changed directly, but that this controversial reconciliation of the relationship itself was a driving force that made people smile. Pan Hongji looked at Su Yuan, and there was a smile on her face. I never asked you about the real ending, so he rejected you at the last moment of the show. Su Yuan's smile faded, and then he hummed softly. Pan Hongji sighed, I'll say objectively that what he did was indeed cruel to you, but it was also cruel to himself. I can hardly imagine how the audience would treat him if he rejected you at the last moment. Su Yuan looked over with a complicated expression. I've thought about this question. I feel that he did it on purpose. He wants all these viewers to feel sorry for me. Pan Hongji, if I can't give you love, I'll give you a career. Su Yuan stopped talking. Pan Hongji looked at the screen. Chen Shen even reconciled with Zhou Gaikan. The barrage on the screen was full of comments about succubus. It was difficult for such a person to simply figure out the direct meaning of his actions. If Chen Shen really rejected Su Yuan at the last moment, from the perspective of career, Su Yuan really got a big advantage. Pan Hongji pursed her lips and suddenly laughed again. Su Yuan looked up, what are you laughing at? I'm laughing at the hot search a while ago, asking people all over the country to stay away from Chen Shen. Do you know that before that, when I was washing the dishes, I wanted to coax you. Since you can't listen to him saying bad things, then I'll say good things about him to see the effect. Good or bad, isn't it all about facing this matter directly? Pan Hongji still had a smile on her face when she said these words. Su Yuan nodded to show that she understood. But, I suddenly found it difficult to say good things about him, and similarly, I can't say bad things about him. Now it was Su Yuan's turn to gradually smile. Thank you. Pan Hongji leaned over and said softly, thank you for your hard work. Su Yuan took the initiative to embrace Pan Hongji. It was not until this moment that Pan Hongji understood the relationship between her best friend and Chen Shen. In fact, her greatest pressure was not on Chen Shen, but in the environment around her. Chen Shen deceived you as a child? You still want to contact him to be nice to him and be with him? So, even Pan Hongji herself is a pressure for Su Yuan, not to mention Su Yuan's family and those fans who scold Chen Shen. Most of Su Yuan's fans are fans who really hate Chen Shen, and then you turn around and go to be with Chen Shen? What should they do? Pan Hongji gently hugged Su Yuan. She felt that this was the core resistance between Su Yuan and Chen Shen. Pan Hongji sighed slightly, and the movement was very small. From a god's perspective, Chen Shen probably knew it, so he helped Su Yuan run her Xiaohongshu. However, from Chen Shen's point of view, there is no way to have both. I have already lied to you. If I don't do something for you, isn't it pure deception? What about doing things for you? It seems to push Su Yuan away. Yuan, I have never said corny words to you. People on the internet still call us Sichuan and Chongqing Tyrannosaurus. But I want to be corny once. The core meaning of life is to live for yourself. Only after you live well can you be good to others. I will definitely stand with you. This is the case for any decision you make. Su Yuan pouted, don't say it, I will really cry later. Pan Hongji looked up and smiled, what's wrong with crying for me once? You only cry for the surname Chen. On the screen, it was already night, and everyone gathered together to chat and talk about playing together in the future, and to get together every year, etc. There were doubts in the barrage, including the observation room. Although the scene was very warm, the hidden line was not resolved. Chen Shen and Su Yuan seemed to have been set in stone, so what was the ending? The camera turned, it was already the next morning, and the observation room could no longer hold back. Ling Yanhui rubbed his hands, so nervous, what should I do, what should I do? Ji Nandu looked at the program team, up to now, I can only see that Chen Shen will either choose to leave hand in hand with Su Yuan, or reverse and leave hand in hand with Xia King Ai, but both methods are bad. Host, indeed, it is worse to not choose either one. Choosing King Ai is really average. I think I can only bite the bullet and choose Yuan. He and Yuan have been getting along for real in the later period. This choice depends on whether UN is willing to agree after the program team announces the result. The observation room was full of discussions, but they all agreed with the option mentioned by the host Lin Tong. It is impossible to choose neither one, unless you really want to die. You still want to win? Isn't that cheating UN and Xiaoqing II? Chen Shen wins, which is equivalent to Xiaoqing II getting nothing, so why do you say that he should be fine? It is impossible to choose King II, because there is no foreshadowing at all. For Su Yuan, this is more uncomfortable than Chen Shen not choosing anyone. After comprehensive consideration, Chen Shen now has only one way, that is to choose Su Yuan. However, even with this choice, many people in the barrage scolded him, saying that Chen Shen could not finish the show at all. They said that everyone thought too highly of him after the last episode, and he had no way to finish the show at all. Choosing Su Yuan would also have to face the consequences, which would hurt Su Yuan. If Su Yuan disagreed, then Xiaoqing II would still get nothing? Come to the Love variety show to play soy sauce. The cameras switched to the villa, which was peaceful and sunny. In the kitchen, Zhong Wenbei and Fang were still chatting and stirring up the atmosphere. Chen Shen didn't say anything and looked left and right in the kitchen. Su Yuan entered the kitchen and immediately went to Chen Shen. Chen Shen, want to eat? Su Yuan immediately shook his head and stared at Chen Shen. I'm not hungry. Who can eat at this time? I'm a little nervous. Chen Shen stuffed a piece of bread into Su Yuan's hand. No matter what happens, just wait for me, okay? Maybe she was nervous, maybe the sentence was okay from Su Yuan's point of view, she just nodded her head. After Chen Shen saw Su Yuan nodding, he added, I'll go out for a while and talk to the director about something. Question marks began to float on the barrage. The question marks that filled the screen were still blurry. Even with this sentence, it was impossible to tell whether Chen Shen wanted to hold hands with Su Yuan or not. When the camera turned, everyone was sitting on the sofa in the living room. Come on, Chen Go, please think of something, can you give us a good ending? Maid, if you don't handle it well, you will be a black man for the rest of your life. If you handle it well, I will scold you back if you dare to scold you. The best variety show in the world, there is only one ending left, Chen Go, it's up to you. I don't want to listen to the nonsense in the observation room anymore, Chen Go, I believe you for the last time. The barrage was very exciting. In the living room, even Su Yuan took a small pillow to block her sight. She wanted to see it but didn't dare to look. Pan Hongji's face was full of worry. According to the barrage style, whatever he chose was wrong. So, what did Chen Shen mean when he told Su Yuan at the resort to sacrifice himself? Under the camera, Zhao Chunsheng appeared on the screen again. After looking around, he began to announce the final rules. Everyone is waiting in the living room. If you want to express your feelings or have something to say, you can stand up bravely and go outside to make a phone call. Whoever's phone rings inside will go out. The cameras switched to the observation room. Almost all the guests stood up, and exclamation marks filled the screen. The cameras switched to everyone's faces. Most of them were nervous. Chen Shen didn't even look at the camera. He kept his head down and didn't know what he was thinking. Fang was also the first to stand up, and then the screen was filled with question marks. Then Xiaoqing I's cell phone rang, and there were more question marks on the barrage, but the two of them only said a few words and then came in. After buffering, typing started again on the barrage. Brother Ye really thinks of himself as a big brother. He may feel that Xiaoqing was wronged when he came to the show, hey. Brother Ye is still fine. Indeed, from their point of view, Xiaoqing lost money when she came to the show. It's all Chen Go's fault. There's no suspense at all. Come on, get up again. The biggest suspense is here, I don't dare to watch, woo woo woo. Su Yuan went out. Under the camera, it was obvious that she was struggling with where to make a call. After hesitating for a while, she went to the glass walkway. Then Chen Shen's cell phone rang inside. As soon as Chen Shen went out, everyone inside stood up and lay in front of the floor-to-ceiling windows to watch. Under the bright sunshine, Su Yuan looked particularly fresh today. She had a loose bun and looked like the girl next door. On the glass plank road, the two people stood face to face, and the barrage was full of exclamation points and woo-woo-woos. From God's perspective, no matter what Chen Shen chose, today was a particularly difficult day for Su Yuan. However, she stood in the sun and smiled, looking at Chen Shen and smiling. Little did she know that even if this person likes you, his starting point is to lie to you. The camera cut to Chen Shen's face, which showed a complex look that no one had ever seen before. Su Yuan didn't dare to look at Chen Shen anymore, his face turned rosy to the naked eye, and when he was about to speak, Chen Shen spoke first and said, "Go back." 3 words, before Su Yuan could react, someone started to inhale in the observation room. The barrage exploded instantly, and question marks filled the entire screen in almost a second. Su Yuan's smile was still frozen on his face. "What did you say?" I must have heard wrong, right?" Chen Shen shook his head. "I'm sorry." Su Yuan took a few steps back unconsciously. "Don't be ridiculous, okay? I've asked you a long time ago. On the day when the ground was full of sycamore leaves, and next to Shentan, you didn't let go. And on the day of the date, you were obviously happy. I brought so many photos home, but you were the one who took the initiative to find me in the first place." Su Yuan lowered his head as he spoke, looking flustered. Even though I tried very hard to figure out the logic, I couldn't seem to get the answer Chen Shen gave me at this moment. In the observation room picture in the upper left corner, there are already people covering their faces. They don't dare to look, but they don't dare to speak to disturb the picture. Unable to understand clearly, Su Yuan looked up at Chen Shen again, with tears in his eyes. "Say quickly, you are joking. Have you ever asked me if I believe you?" "My answer at this moment is still that I believe it. As long as you say you are joking, I won't be angry." Someone has already started typing on the barrage. Even if you want to refuse, you can't force it now. My goodness, are you a human being? Why do you have to reject her at this time? Don't cry, you are right in Bao, he has never liked you at all, he is so angry. Chen Go, are you going to solve it like this? Then you can't get into this entertainment industry. No, I thought it was a high-end game, but I didn't expect it to be a shit game. In the show, Chen Shen reached out and took Su Yuan's hand. Even so, Su Yuan did not break away and allowed Chen Shen to pull her towards the villa. The barrage was filled with curses, but some people also sighed. People with a little more rationality can understand that this is a dead end. If Chen Shen agrees to Su Yuan, he will also face a crisis of trust. After all, Chen Shen is a wolf. If he doesn't agree, he will be panicked and confused now. Someone in the observation room sighed. "How do you understand?" "Although I also know that Chen Shen's ending to Yuan is normal, but it is still so uncomfortable. Even if Yuan is watching our show at this moment, can she really understand?" The rest of the people didn't say anything. Obviously, most of them were disappointed with Chen Shen's handling. Even if they could think about it, Chen Shen's rejection of Su Yuan exposed Su Yuan's weakness in Chen Shen's own hands and gave traffic to Su Yuan, but it was still so unacceptable that no one mentioned it. Under the camera, Chen Shen pulled Su Yuan into the living room, and the people inside were silent. Chen Shen and Su Yuan sat down slowly. Su Yuan's tears were still hanging on her face. She lowered her head instinctively. Chen Shen pulled out a tissue to wipe Su Yuan's tears, but Su Yuan turned his head and did not cooperate. "Everyone looked at me and I looked at you, but no one dared to speak. No one knew what was going on. Why, Su Yuan murmured softly, still looking for the reason from Chen Shen beside him. Everyone can feel that unwillingness through the screen. From Su Yuan's point of view, everything is right, but the result is wrong. Why? Someone in the observation room couldn't stand Yu Zhongqi and ran to pinch the director's neck. A smart person can understand the intention of his move. Can Chen Shen answer why? He couldn't answer at all. Only the director could answer. This was to distract the audience. Many people on the barrage also noticed Zhao Chunsheng and were scolding them, saying that they would 100% block Chen Shen and Zhao Chunsheng from now on. On the screen, Chen Shen himself burst into tears. He replied in a low voice, "There are many things you don't know, and I don't know how to tell you. There are too many aspects that need to be balanced. I promise you that it is not who I am. My heart, if I don't agree to it, it's not my intention, and I don't expect you to understand it, but I hope you can understand it when you see the scene later. This is the best I can do." After saying that, without waiting for Su Yuan's reaction, Chen Shen stood up. Next to it, a brand new piano stood there. Question marks began to float on the barrage again, and no one knew what Chen Shen was going to do. I saw Chen Shen sitting in front of the piano, taking several deep breaths in succession, and then looking at Su Yuan again, he began to put his hands on the keys. Subtitles appear on the screen. Things you do not know. Lyricist, Chen Shen. Composer, Chen Shen. Singing at this time, even from God's perspective, was a bit abrupt, but Chen Shen's words were the best he could do, and he hoped that Su Yuan would understand when he saw the scene later, which made the audience hold their breath. Obviously, Chen Shen wanted to extend these unspeakable things until after the show was broadcast, and give Su Yuan a sufficiently objective perspective, hoping that Su Yuan could understand at that time. It's a dead situation in itself, how to revive it? Or how to avoid hurting Su Yuan? This question has been discussed all over the internet for half a month and there is no answer. The piano is an instrument for different people, and different people have different performance styles. In Chen Shen's hands, he looked particularly gentle and tender, and so did his voice. How many times does a butterfly blink before it learns to fly? The night sky is filled with stars, but a few will fall to the ground. I fly but you fall. Sorry, I didn't catch you. You do not know why I left you. I insist not to let you cry. Chen Shen's voice was deep and soft, and his words were clear, as if there was a kind of magic power that slowly calmed down the somewhat restless scene. Su Yuan most likely took it in and burst into tears. Not, so this isn't rejection? Is this refusal to break everything into pieces first? And then put it back together in the form of a song? I'm so angry right now, but this piece of shit is so realistic. He seems to have expected the scene a long time ago. I seem to understand a little bit. This song is realistic and is meant to calm Su Yuan down. You can't say that I just wrote it? What you don't know, damn, I'm getting goosebumps. So, this is not the ending. From now on, is the ending given by Chen Go. The same goes for the observation room, mainly because there are too many discussions about this show. What does it mean to have too many discussions? It means understanding more. Originally, Chen Shen's actions were easy for everyone to analyze, but now he has written a song again. In the observation room, those who responded slowly were still frowning, while those who responded quickly, such as Lin Tong, Ji Nan, and Yu Zhongqian, had already begun to open their mouths in surprise. It is indeed a dead end, and the show is not over yet. If we directly talk about the rules of the show at this time, it will be the same as everyone analyzed, and it will be a bad ending. Therefore, Chen Shen wrote a song called Things You Don't Know. Your tears are like a downpour. Broken all over the ground, it is clear in my heart. You don't know why I'm so cruel. Hovering in the sky where you can't see it. A lot of things you do not know. It's all in the song. I have goosebumps all over my body, damn it. When we were dating, Chen Go told Yuan that there are many things you don't know. He also said it during the team building, and just said it again. So, when they were dating, he was thinking about writing such a song for Yuan. Song. You don't know a lot of things. In Bayo, stop crying and pay attention to the lyrics. This bitch seems to be serious about you. It's the program team that is so hateful. I'm so anxious. In Bayo, listen to the song, in Bayo. Great. There seems to be a direction for this unsolvable dead end. Chen Go, do more. How many times does a butterfly blink before it learns to fly? The night sky is filled with stars, but a few will fall to the ground. I fly but you fall. Sorry, I didn't catch you. When Chen Shen finished singing, Yu Zhongqian was dumbfounded in the observation room and sighed unconsciously. How can a song be written like this? The older ones didn't quite understand, so they looked left and right. Can someone explain it to me? I feel like I can't keep up. Jinan was still standing and very close to the big screen in front. When he heard the question from behind, he turned around and said with some excitement, "Let me sigh first. This guy's talent is so amazing. Even if it offends people, I have to say, why did Black Gold Entertainment kick him out? We all know that Chen Shen and Su Yuan are an unsolvable problem. The biggest highlight in the later stage is also Chen Shen, Su Yuan, and Xiaoqing Ai. Whether Chen Shen holds hands with Su Yuan or not, Su Yuan's sadness cannot be escaped. We can completely blame Chen Shen for this. It was Chen Shen who gave the letter to Su Yuan from beginning to end. This is what I have always wondered about. He and Xiaozhou solved the problem in the end, so how could he ignore Yuan? For them, this is not only a program, but also life. So Chen Shen extended to life and told Yuan in a romantic way, just like what he said, there are many things you don't know, but I will let you know when you watch the show later. The host also answered excitedly, yes, this premise really requires rejection and grace first. Since you can't get around it, let's not get around it yet and directly destroy the reconstruction. Some people still don't quite understand, but, I admit that the song is very powerful. It writes something that cannot be said into a song, and it sounds good. But it only explains a fact and does not say a solution. The person who asked the question was confused, while Jinan and the host Lin Tong were laughing. They had suffered too much at the hands of Chen Shen. After constantly breaking through their perceptions, they already had a consciousness deep in their hearts. As long as Chen Shen wanted to solve the problem, one thing must have a follow-up. Their previous low pressure was because they were afraid that Chen Shen would be in trouble and just ignore it. Looking at it now, it was obvious that when this guy was dating Su Yuan, he was already thinking of a solution when he said to Su Yuan that there are many things you don't know. The end. This is what gives them goosebumps. This guy is more than just talented. Watch the show. If you ask me to tell you, I definitely can't explain it, but I believe in Chen Shen, the host said, pointing to the big screen in front of him, and then put on the headphones again. I'm just being paid to be on a dating show, why do you choose me? Author, Qingzhou Mi Se. Chapter 249. The barrage was filled with sobs. Driven by the observation room, a large number of people also had some trust and dependence on Chen Shen. They followed this program, discussed this program, and even scolded Chen Shen, which was actually emotional investment. Emotional investment is a kind of love. No one wants a bad ending if they spend money to watch the finale. All the arguments before this were that the finale would not be good. Now that Chen Shen started to work, those sobs were a kind of trust in Chen Shen. The camera switched, but it did not switch to the confession scene in the villa immediately, but switched to the day before the subtitles appeared, which was a reverse order, and began to play some content that had not been played before. Not to mention the observation room and the barrage, Su Yuan wiped a tear and sat up with Pan Hongji, looking forward at the TV. In the camera, next to the glass plank road, director Zhao Chunsheng and Chen Shen were sitting on the grass. Zhao Chunsheng suddenly said thank you. Chen Shen just smiled. Zhao Chunsheng, I'm sorry to trouble you. This program has too much and too exciting content. If I can't be on it, I will suffer from insomnia for the rest of my life. Just like what I talked about with you last time, I can only trouble you to edit it, which means that many people will scold you. Chen Shen smiled, there are many people in this world who care about their image, and I am not one of them. Question marks began to float on the barrage. Are they complaining that this reverse order is to whitewash Chen Shen? Of course, with the atmosphere at this level, most of these complaints are jokes. Zhao Chunsheng, so I specially say thank you to you. Tomorrow is crucial. Do you need me to cooperate with you? To be honest, this program has long been out of my plan, and I can only discuss it with you. This time, Chen Shen sighed, I don't know. Zhao Chunsheng stared. Chen Shen, don't look at me, I'm not a god, I can only say that I will do my best. Zhao Chunsheng said with a frown, I'm a little unsure about your words. Now the ending of the hidden plot is you and King Ai, and the ending of the bright plot is also you and Yuan. Let's think of a solution together. Chen Shen punched Zhao Chunsheng's arm, you have hurt me badly. Zhao Chunsheng laughed, I know, but now I'm forcing you to do something, but don't worry, if you have anything to ask me in the future, I will never refuse. I will help you sort it out. Let's talk about King Ai first. What are you going to do with King Ai? Under the camera, Chen Shen stretched out his hand on the grass and looked up at the starry sky, please prepare a piano for me, okay. What do you mean? Chen Shen, I racked my brains and came up with 3 songs. Zhao Chunsheng took a breath, prepared 3 songs for King Ai. Chen Shen shook his head, no, I am the only one who is not good at this show. The one who can't do this is Yuan. All 3 songs are prepared for Yuan, but they have to be sung by King Ai, otherwise Yuan won't be able to explain. Zhao Chunsheng frowned, late marriage level. Chen Shen said unhappily, how should I know? I just wrote it. If it's not good, the audience will scold me. Anyway, they will scold me to death when the show is broadcast. Zhao Chunsheng started to laugh again, it's not that I'm worried, why don't you talk about your 3 songs? I'll think about it. Chen Shen sighed, I'll sing one of them tomorrow. There are some things that I can't say or sing. Remember, I don't owe you, I only owe Yuan. Zhao Chunsheng nodded, what about the second song? Chen Shen's eyes became deep, the second song? It's a reason or comfort for Yuan. It's also an explanation to the audience. On the barrage, exclamation marks have filled the entire screen without knowing when. Woo 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 woo, Chen dog, I love you so much, I know you won't ignore Yuan, nor will you ignore our blood pressure. 3 songs. Good boy. Woo woo woo, I won't scold you anymore, really, I promise. The barrage was very excited, and the scene turned, as if it had turned into an MV format. That was when Chen Shen first chatted with Su Yuan. The two stood on the glass plank road and praised each other's good character. Subtitles appeared. Bubble. Lyrics, Chen Shen. Composition, Chen Shen. Xia King Ai's voice sounded immediately afterwards. The bubbles in the sun are colorful. Just like I am happy after being deceived. Pursue what is right or wrong about your lies. Based on your love for me. The beautiful bubbles are just a flash of fireworks. All your promises are too fragile. But love is like bubbles, if you can see through. What is sad? Just when it was the first sentence, someone in the observation room got goosebumps. 2 words, bubbles, seemed to fully describe the relationship between Chen Shen and Su Yuan. It was fake from the beginning, it was a bubble from the beginning, and it was a special bubble. Everyone knew that Su Yuan was the weakest among the 4 female guests. When Xiaoqing came, her mentality was a little broken. However, Chen Shen supported her, supporting a huge bubble, which was also the main reason why Su Yuan was intoxicated. Yu Zhongqian couldn't help but send a telegram, "It's there again as soon as you open your mouth." Maybe the atmosphere is sad, the melody is also sad, and the barrage is full of sobs. It's good to listen, it's good to cry. Chen Go understands everything, it's all in the song, he must be serious, otherwise he can't write the lyrics based on "You Still Love Me." Goosebumps all over my body, it's really comforting. Love itself is like a bubble, if you can see through it, what's the sadness? I don't like this song, woo woo woo. I feel that according to Chen Go, this song is giving In Bao a reason to give up on him. My scalp is tingling. One song, Late Marriage, has already changed my impression of him. When these 2 songs came out, this guy seems to be able to write all emotions and experiences into songs. No matter how beautiful the flower is, it will wither after it blooms. No matter how bright the star is, it will fall after it flashes. Love is a bubble, if you can see through it. What is sad? Why sad? In the observation room, Li Ruqing was the first to cry with her face covered. The song is not touching, but the story is touching. Chen Shen said that the second song is to give Yuan a reason and comfort. What kind of reason? Everyone understood when they heard more than half of it. No matter how beautiful the flower is, it will wither, and no matter how bright the star is, it will fall. Love itself is a bubble. Chen Shen is telling Su Yuan that if you feel hurt, then look at the essence of love. If you can see through it, what is there to be sad about? This is the reason. Even if Su Yuan doesn't choose Chen Shen has given her a reason. Maybe she doesn't need it, but the audience does. It is also a comfort, like using the song to tell Su Yuan that any choice you make is right, even if you don't choose him. Love itself is a bubble, not to mention that Chen Shen's build-up for Su Yuan is also a bubble. As Chen Shen said, he is sorry for Su Yuan. One cried, and the emotional cry followed. The host Lin Tong reached out to cover her mouth, and her eyes were blurred. Not to mention the barrage, the whole screen was sobbing. In the living room, Su Yuan also covered her face. She felt as if her heart was pulled, and her nose began to sour unconsciously. Pan Hongji hurriedly hugged Su Yuan. "It's okay, don't cry, don't cry. You have to think about it this way. You are facing this matter now, and Chen Shen was also facing this matter at that time. You will think, why not just let it go? He will definitely think so, and he also takes into account the emotions of the audience. It would be fine if she didn't comfort him, but Su Yuan burst into tears as soon as she comforted him. She cried again when she listened to the song Things You Don't Know just now. Pan Hongji could only pat Su Yuan's back gently. She understood that her best friend was very resistant now, but she would cry when these 2 songs came out, let alone the one who experienced this. Su Yuan whimpered, "But I can't do it, and I can't do it now. It seems that I like Chen Shen. It's engraved in my bones." The second song slowly came to an end. In the program, the camera switched to the scene of Zhao Chunsheng and Chen Shen sitting on the grass and talking at night. "Zhao Chunsheng, what about the third song?" Chen Shen had a little smile on his face. "The third song? It's the same, it's also a reason and a kind of comfort, but I added some of my own things." Zhao Chunsheng glared, "It's really hard to talk to you. Has Yuan agreed? Agree to allow King Ai to appear and not interfere with my editing direction?" Chen Shen hummed. Zhao Chunsheng had a smile on his face and was amazed. "So, you really used 3 songs to make my secret plot have a peaceful ending?" Chen Shen punched Zhao Chunsheng's arm again. "Hey, on the show, I only feel sorry for Yuan, but off the show, I feel sorry for King Ai. Zhao Chunsheng didn't react at first, and after a long time he said, she herself agreed to sing the song you gave to Yuan. Chen Shen nodded, with a complicated expression, so, Zhao Chunsheng, you have ruined me. I thought I would take a job that was exciting and popular, but what about it? I put myself in it, and I guess I won't get anything, and I still owe a lot of debts. Zhao Chunsheng could only laugh. Although I know it's whitewashing, I still want to cry. Chen Go, you brainwashed us in the end, you are awesome, okay. Okay, I shouldn't scold you, I owe you, okay. Think carefully, it's true, Chen Shen has been scolded by the whole network for a month, and he dare not open social media until now. He probably knows his situation, so he signed Huanyu in dejection. Damn, you dead succubus, can you restrain yourself, I really start to like you. It's both tearful and funny, there will definitely be no such program in the future, from now on, this is the first God variety show in my heart. The barrage is very lively. Compared with the full-screen beasts before, if you look carefully, someone has already scolded himself as a beast, saying that he shouldn't scold Chen Shen. Chen Shen's background has been exposed. Chen Hotpot at home, school, and his trainee career in Black Gold Entertainment all know that this guy can sing and dance a little, but this guy has never written a song. But every song he wrote is full of emotion and unique, because they are all his experiences and feelings and have a certain purpose. Looking back now, can we still criticize the scene where he played on the computer while the female guest was cooking? Was he playing? He racked his brains and then got a reputation as a scumbag who was scolded by the whole network. The camera turned and gave a panoramic picture of the villa of the love variety show Under the Sun, and the BGM sounded. The Wind Rises. Lyrics, Chen Shen. Composer, Chen Shen. I walked and stopped along the way, following the traces of the boys drifting. I hesitated a little before stepping out of the station. I couldn't help laughing at the inevitable timidity of being close to home. At first, the audience didn't understand it a little, but they all put exclamation marks and the word good on the barrage. They thought that what they didn't understand was probably Chen Shen's own thing. I used to be unable to extricate myself from the big world. I was also addicted to the dream talk in it. No need to be true or false, no struggle, no fear of jokes. I once turned my youth into her. I also had summer popping up at my fingertips. Just go with whatever your heart brings you. Walk against the light and let the wind and rain blow. When this section came out, the audience was very touched. Wasn't it just him singing about himself? He doesn't know what's true, doesn't struggle, and isn't afraid of jokes. Isn't this what Chen Shen does in the love complex? It came true and false, and left true and false. There was no resistance throughout the whole process. Even under the camera, it was treated as if the camera didn't exist. Scolded by the entire internet? Did he take care of it? Someone said on the barrage that this song may be about his feelings when he came back from Yanjing. Not so sad, but very free and easy. It's a short road with stops and starts, but it's still a few minutes distance. I don't know if what I'm touching is a story or a mood. Maybe what you are looking forward to is just to be against time. See you again. In the cool morning light. Smile very sweetly. The goosebumps are here again. I understand. The first part is for himself, and the second part is for UN. It sounds great. I think this is the best song. Chen Go, you must go to the entertainment industry, please. In Bayo, are you watching? Listen quickly, he is not trying to persuade you to see the true nature of love and give up on him. He is also looking forward to whether you can meet again against time. Damn it, you've got the trilogy again, right? Mad, you're awesome. There are still mostly exclamation points on the barrage, and a bunch of people are shouting become a god. The cameras showed several scenes of the observation room. Yu Zhongqian held his head in his hands and smiled bitterly, while the emotional man was still covering his face and sobbing. At this moment, no one is worried about the ending of the drama. As Chen Shen himself said, he wrote 3 songs for Su Yuan. The first song explains the situation, which is what the previous guest said to present the facts. What about the second song? Give Yuan a reason and comfort to give up on him, as well as an explanation for the audience. After all, from the audience's point of view, if they feel that Chen Shen's fake act is real, you seem to be under pressure to choose Su Yuan. However, Chen Shen's second song relieved this pressure. Even if Su Yuan gave up, it would be okay. Love is a bubble, not to mention that Chen Shen is also building bubbles. Now let's start the third song. Although I haven't finished listening to it yet, the reason seems to be Chen Shen's self-perception and expectations for Su Yuan. If you are still willing, then why can't he be the enemy of time? Let's Yaqing sing the song that Chen Shen gave to Su Yuan. Catch the horse. It's very tempting, but it has to be done. Those who are a little more mature can see that the hidden things cannot be discussed openly, because it involves interests. Giving the song to Xiaoqing II is a profit, not to Xiaoqing II, but to Yuan Media. But as Chen Shen said, Xiaoqing II was willing to sing Chen Shen's song to Su Yuan, which in itself was a grievance. Therefore, Chen Shen said that he also owed Xiaoqing II for the show. I still marvel at how big the world is. Also indulged in childhood love stories. No truth or falsehood left, no struggle, no fear of jokes. I gave him my youth back. Together with the midsummer that pops up on your fingertips. Whatever the heart moves, it goes with the wind. In the name of love. Are you still willing? The singing ended and the barrage exploded. You're awesome. I only understand it now. The bubble is telling you and that you give up on me. I understand. Don't feel pressure. The wind is rising. It's telling you and that you're giving up on me. In the name of love, are you still willing? UN Trilogy. Blast. King II, it's okay if you feel aggrieved. I'll apologize to you on Chen Go's behalf. It's so difficult for him. No truth or falsehood, no struggling and fearless jokes. Chen Go, I am just a beast, you are so exaggerating. I am 34 years old, and in my memory, there seems to be no such outstanding person in the entire entertainment industry. Okay, you can open social media. As long as you give the order, we will support you as the new king of the entertainment industry. One song explains the situation, one gives UN a way out, and one allows UN to face it. As expected of you, Chen Scumbag, I accept this ending. This show can indeed make you a god. The barrage was very exciting, and the same was true in the observation room. Everyone looked at each other, laughed, sighed, and then spontaneously applauded. Jinan applauded and gave a thumbs up in the direction of the program team. Director, thank you for inviting me to this show. I really have goosebumps all over my body. He has really solved a knot, and with a single this is a romantic method that makes my scalp numb. I am really convinced and happy. Host Lin Tong also applauded and said, he's so evil, it's hard not to like him. A succubus is a succubus. Anyway, it's not much more than me. It's so unfortunate that UN met Chen Shen, but also so lucky. If Chen Shen is also watching this show, I want to tell you, boldly go into the entertainment industry and let it go. I, Lin Tong, must be your biggest fan. Of course, you still have to restrain yourself emotionally. Everyone laughed. Yu Zhongqian not only applauded but also sighed, you should know me. I really rarely admire anyone in terms of songwriter. I really admire this person. If you don't write songs, it may not be obvious. His first song, the theme of the second song is clear, but the third song is a little confusing, as if the artistic young people are expressing some inexplicable feelings, but the name of this song is The Wind Rises. Why is the wind blowing? Because the heart is confused. Whose heart is confused? Chen Shen is confused, so he can't explain until the end. I think this is Chen Shen's greatest sincerity. Finally, I want to say that the entertainment industry welcomes you. After Yu Zhongqian finished speaking, there was only one sentence left in the entire barrage. The entertainment industry welcomes you. Chen Shen. I'm just being paid to be on a dating show, why do you choose me? Author, Qingzhou Se. Chapter 250. 3 songs took the audience to watch the love drama again. The last lyric of The Wind Rises, are you still willing in the name of love? The scene just happened to freeze back to the scene of Lian Zong's confession. Chen Shen was sitting in front of the piano, and Su Yuan was looking at Chen Shen's back. There were tears on her face. In the living room, Pan Hongji could no longer listen to the chatter in the observation room. She was originally waiting for Chen Shen to reject her best friend on the show, and then give her best friend another round of loving hugs to encourage and comfort her. She felt that Chen Shen was still a man, just like those divorced couples in reality. If Chen Shen refused at the last moment, wouldn't it be tantamount to leaving the house? In the end, this guy came up with 3 songs, just like what those barrages said. Once these 3 songs come out, Yu Su Yuan will have a reason for choosing them. They are all a road to reconciliation paved by Chen Shen. How do you understand this from Pan Hongji's point of view? He still left home, but Chen Shen was different. You thought that the man who left home just had a car and a house, but it turned out that this man had mines. According to Pan Hongji's initial guess, even if Chen Shen refuses in the end, the traffic will definitely flow to Su Yuan. However, the integrity of the program will be greatly compromised, it will have no vitality, and the audience may not necessarily pay the bill. After all, the expectations are too high. But it's different now. One of the most controversial stories has a work. The key is that this story has no ending. Pan Hongji is a little afraid to think about it. Taking a look at the screen, those dense barrage are all the entertainment industry welcomes you Chen Shen. She shivered unconsciously and had goosebumps all over her body. Su Yuan was sitting cross-legged on the sofa, holding a big pillow. There were several spots on the gray-white pillow, some were tears and some were saliva. I was so immersed that I not only wiped my tears with a pillow, but sometimes bit the edge of the pillow unconsciously. Are you happy now? I finally discovered that none of your tears were in vain. Pan Hongji's tone was complicated, feeling both distressed and envious. Su Yuan turned away and didn't look at Pan Hongji. Why not? Because she is laughing. How could someone who was crying just now be laughing now? Don't you want to lose face? Did you do it on purpose? How could you not know that he wrote a song for you? Still 3 songs. 3 songs, sister. The key is Xiaoqing singing. Can you comfort me? I'm fine now. The more Pan Hongji spoke, the more she pursed her lips, looking like she wanted to cry. Su Yuan then turned around. He had cried a little too much and his eyelashes were still wet. Why should I comfort you? Pan Hongji glared. Why are you comforting me? What do you think? With this kind of standard, you can ask anyone if she is envious. What did Zhao Chunsheng say? The bright thread of the whole love affair is between you and him in the end, and then he gives you wrote 3 songs and asks Xiaoqing to sing them. Do you understand the concept? It's called pressure. Pan Hongji rolled his eyes. Can you please stop laughing when talking about pressure? Su Yuan pouted, and then turned away. Sitting in a tall building and looking out the window, he couldn't see anything. He could only see half a cloud and the sky that couldn't be blocked by the clouds. The white and blue colors were particularly bright. It's obviously winter, but it looks like summer colors. Red branch, I feel like I'm done. Pan Hongji had already picked up her phone. She wanted to see the feedback online. When she heard Su Yuan's words, she said angrily, "You are finished a long time ago." "No, it's really over this time. I feel like I'm alive." "Aren't you alive? You are completely dead in his hands." This answer was obviously derogatory, but there was a hint of envy in Pan Hongji's tone. She understood Su Yuan. Su Yuan said in the morning that she had no confidence. Chen Shen still chose her when facing Su Mo, Su Mian, and Xiaoqing Ai. How could he have confidence if this prerequisite was gone? However, Su Yuan's confidence returned. The plot of the entire romance focused on Chen Shen and her. Chen Shen responded to her with 3 songs and wronged Xiaoqing Ai. Therefore, how could Su Yuan not be special in Chen Shen's eyes? Su Yuan snorted, "If you die, die. From today on, I will only live according to my heart." Pan Hongji came over and handed the phone to Su Yuan to look at. Someone has already started posting an article on Weibo. This was an article posted by a big V 5 minutes ago, and it already has 6 digits of likes. These traffic-hungry people want to eat hot food and can't wait any longer. For the first time, I feel that $5 is so worth it. Maybe the joke of a small number of people will come true. There is no such thing as an innate scumbag. He is just a big lover. At first, I thought that Chen Shen and Su Mian had a high probability of actually taking the script from The Big Bad Wolf and the Little Sheep, but then I thought it was unrealistic. The identities of these guests were almost revealed on the internet. The daughter of Chairman Zhou Jun Semiconductor, how can it be possible to have a result with a scumbag in a romantic relationship? Of course, the chemical reaction between this pair has extended a lot of famous jokes. If there were not so many concerns, it might be different. Then there's Su Mo. If I have to say that I'm addicted to CP, the only ones I'm addicted to are Chen Shen and her. There's a lot of things going on between the two of them in the audience. I've also inquired about some of the details. It's said that Chen Shen pressed him. Qin Fangyu, who had negotiated with Su Mo and Qin Wenzi on his father's shoulders, and then Chen Ruxi, a well-known Chen bald head in the entire Yuzhou, began to retreat behind the scenes. Some people said that Chen Shen was not worthy of Su Mo, but they disagreed. Family background may produce a suitable match and matching, but it will definitely not produce a compatible soul. As for Xiaoqing Ai, there are more uncertainties. When Chen Shen faced Xiaoqing Ai, he didn't just face Xiaoqing Ai from the beginning. This may be the main reason why there were rumors that Yu Wen signed Chen Shen some time ago. They had already dealt with Chen Shen, so I wanted to rob this person, but I didn't rob Huan Yu. Of course, I still don't understand why Chen Shen wanted to go to Huan Yu, but I definitely won't think he is stupid. Be more romantic, maybe that's what he said. The sacrifice is to sign for joy before the show becomes popular, or in other words, sign for joy before the penguin can react, leaving the heat to the female guests. This is one of the reasons why I say he is a love species. Finally, Su Yuan is a typical story of Cinderella Liang's counterattack. A young master in the catering industry is able to face investors, wealthy ladies, and big stars with ease, but he falls into the hands of Cinderella Liang. A young man who has been practicing in Yanjing for 2 years has not made his debut. People are forced to be like that. What is this if not love? Seeing this, you may be wondering, what exactly were you forced into? I'd better leave it in suspense. After all, others are paying for content. After watching the show, I can tell you that Chen Shen is probably still a controversial person. Those who don't like him will still dislike him, and those who like him will love him miserably. For example, for me, this person is a bit too dazzling. It's hard to forget him. Su Yuan is by no means a loser. The deadlock in online discussions does not exist for Chen Shen. Instead, he made Su Yuan the most special person. Maybe this is what Chen Shen gave to those of us who like this show. The most sincere response, for real life, everyone is the protagonist. Su Yuan returned the phone to Pan Hongji. It doesn't hurt my back to stand and talk. Pan Hongji smiled and said, is this the point? I know, don't you just want to say that Chen Shen is a big lover, but have you ever thought about it? Am I afraid of losing or are they afraid of losing? Su Yuan was stunned when Pan Hongji asked this question. After being silent for a while, he gave Su Yuan a thumbs up. Okay, it's you who don't dare to argue. It's you who aren't afraid of losing. Anyway, you're the one who makes sense. However, Su Yuan suddenly sighed again. What's wrong? Su Yuan patted his chest. Be soft-hearted. So what? Su Yuan snorted and didn't reply. She did come back to life. When she thought of Chen Shen before, her first emotion was sadness. She always felt that no matter what she did, there would be no results with him. What now? Result? I am not a prophet, so who knows the outcome of this matter? If everyone's results are not just piles of dirt, what's there to think about? What she was thinking about was whether there was a way to prevent Chen Shen from being so stressed. Looking at the whole relationship, everyone else seemed to be useless, especially herself. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I'm just being paid to be on a dating show, why do you choose me? Author, Qingzhou Se. Chapter 251. The phone on the coffee table began to vibrate. Su Yuan reached out to take the phone from the coffee table, glanced at the caller ID, and frowned slightly. Mom, what's wrong? A somewhat excited voice rang on the phone. Yuan, where are you? A bunch of people came to the house, saying that they are from the number 1 MCN company in Yuzhou, and they seem to want to talk to you about cooperation. Su Yuan didn't think about it. Mom, please help me refuse, I won't sign with an internet celebrity company. After that, Su Yuan hung up the phone. Pan Hongji laughed non-stop. What are you laughing at? What do you think? Didn't someone gossip about you some time ago? Now let's see if they still say it. That's true. The two began to look at their phones, and the first group of viewers began to go online. After a while, Pan Hongji came over and showed her phone to Su Yuan, and after a while, Su Yuan also showed his phone to Pan Hongji. Someone on TikTok made predictions. When the advanced on-demand video was trending, he posted a video saying that the ending of the love variety show was destined to be a bad ending, and there was no need to spend 5 yuan to watch it. He also analyzed Chen Shen in various ways, saying that this was the retribution for being a scumbag. Before the advanced on-demand video was launched, his comment area was almost full of yes, 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 the scumbag must die a bad death. What about now? What the hell, you're just swearing before you even see it. You're the scumbag, your whole family is a scumbag. What's wrong with a scumbag? Is he eating your rice? Come on, my buddy's name is Zhang Ergu, all those who curse Chen Shen come to me, I'll take it. You know shit, that's retribution? That's Chen Shen's sincere self-sacrifice, all he wants is for you to curse him. I didn't expect to meet someone clown than ugly brother on Douyin. Brothers, don't give him traffic, just block and report him. Let's go to Yuan and King I's comment area to play, don't let Chen Go's sacrifice be in vain. No, what's wrong? Chen Shen also has this kind of fans. I'm so humming. Similar to this boomerang and various compliments, the two leaned on the sofa and watched more and more happy. In the evening, Chen Shen stayed alone in the office of the suite. He didn't knock, but stood in front of the French window and looked at the small square below. The finale of the love variety show was broadcast, which meant that he and Huanyu were going to tear each other apart. This logic goes back to the beginning. The more popular I am, the more Huanyu will feel that they can control me. When I was not popular, it was like Hagen Entertainment. I didn't need to pay any liquidated damages if there was no value. However, after I became popular, there were all restrictions. After all, it was the person who was popular who was delayed. This is why Chen Shen had to plant the seeds of conflict so early. If it was delayed until now, Pu Bin and I would choose one, and I would give up Pu Bin 100%. The phone in my hand vibrated, and Chen Shen picked it up. There was no free time in the afternoon. Zhao Chunsheng alone called me several times. Can you believe that a grown man cried on the phone? Chen Shen thought he was drunk. He cried and said that it was his luck and blessing to meet me. Later, he called and said that someone from Penguin Video wanted to come to see him. Then he called again and asked him to fall for 3 days, just 3 days, and then he started to prepare the script of Dear, Beloved that Chen Shen gave him. On WeChat, Myrna sent a message. Sure, Chen Ziaza, you really invested a lot for Su Yuan, you are awesome. At 4 p.m. the advance on-demand views exceeded 100 million, we discussed internally, do you have any plans to come to Pengcheng? We can give you a house worth 8 figures. Chen Shen typed back, no need, it's not a matter of whether to invest or not, it's just out of respect for her. So, Cinderella standing out among big investors, rich girls, and big stars is also respect. Chen Shen took a breath. He knew that this was the only thing he was worried about, and he had been communicating with Zhao Chunsheng, and the editing was too considerate of Su Yuan. This ending means that when someone talks about the love class in the future, the heroine is Su Yuan. But you can't not take care of her. This is what Chen Shen meant when he told Zhao Chunsheng that he owed a lot of debts. It was originally under the camera, so naturally there were some serious and some minor ones. Chen Shen's personality is not the kind of character that doesn't care. If you value this, you will ignore that, others may not care, you pretend to be confused. So, it's not that easy to be a scumbag. Ha ha ha, did you hit a sore spot? You're really a big lover. Let me tell you a secret. We contacted Su Yuan, and she said that she would only sign us if you asked her to. Chen Shen started typing again. Sister Myrna, I didn't offend you, you always stab me in the back. Not really, I'll tell you straight, I just want to see how you and Su Mo will end up. The love show has ended, but your story is not over in the eyes of many people. You can also understand it as a reminder. Su Yuan and Xia King Ai are fine, but Su Mo and Su Mian are not so easy to fool. It's not easy to get a better reputation. The whole network is calling you to join the circle. I hope you cherish it. Chen Shen put down his phone and complained, do you need to remind me? Watching the show is so interesting. Damn, don't let it fall into my hands. After thinking for a while, Chen Shen picked up the phone again, found the previous chat records with Zhao Chunsheng, and then took a screenshot and sent it to Xia King Ai. Soon Xia King Ai responded. Oh, the romantic finally turned my hand. Chen Shen replied with a sweaty emoji. Xia King Ai, ha ha ha, I'm just kidding. I won't care about what has already happened. I'm not that petty. What's wrong with your chat record? Director Zhao really likes that script. Chen Shen, yes, you've already nodded, how dare he not? Xia King Ai, no, 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 it's you who wrote it well. The whole network is calling you to join the entertainment industry. How are we going to make a living in the future? This is really sarcastic. Chen Shen, no, 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 it's you who revised it well. Others can't make a living, but you can definitely make a living. Protect me in the future, big star. Xia King Ai, okay, you're not a 3-year-old child. Chen Shen looked at the chat record and didn't really think Xia King Ai wouldn't care. It's just that this kind of thing may not be said. Even if she doesn't care, won't people in her circle talk about it? Xiaoqing I's participation in the love variety show itself will be talked about by people, but after the love variety show became popular, this matter was smoothed over. But is it a face-saving thing to sing the song that Chen Shen wrote for Su Yuan? Chen Shen has a clear understanding of his own position. He is not a scumbag, but a bootlicker. He just has 4 goddesses. For Chen Shen, will it be tiring? It's okay, because his deepest bond now is with the 4 of them, plus a sister. As for Chen Ruxi, just treat her as the most familiar stranger father. On the other side, Xiaoqing I lay on Shen Halen's desk, his fingers unconsciously flicking the phone whose screen had gone dark. Crazy, what's the finale? Xiaoqing I complained to himself. Zhao Chun Sheng, I remember you. If you can't edit, can you go home and feed the pigs? It's so annoying. Xiaoqing I was a little sad. Su Yuan, who had been ignored, jumped out again. What kind of emotional injury will not be healed by this finale? The door of the office was pushed open, and Shen Halen walked in with several folders. Yo, what's going on? The new album is online. Xiaoqing I looked up, and then immediately opened Penguin Music on the computer. After entering her name, there was indeed a mini album in the work column. The name of this album is The Wind Rises. I'm just being paid to be on a dating show, why do you choose me? Author, Qingzhou Se. Chapter 252. Chapter 252. Let's just sit there for a day, I'll sort out the rest of the story. Up to now, the story of the love story has almost come to an end, and I'll write about the big story of Huanya changing its owner. I know that many people are watching this story just for the love story, and this part of readers will probably abandon me, woohoo. It's okay, just watch what you want to watch. For me, it's actually a feeling of relief, at least the story has been concluded in terms of the framework, and there may be some details that are not in place, which is my problem. Sorry, this is the most unscientific thing about writing online articles. You have to write no matter you are in good condition, so I can't guarantee that what I write every day is qualified. Sometimes I am not satisfied with it myself, but I can only bite the bullet and publish it. Thank you very much for reading it now. The average subscription of this book has increased from more than 700 to 2,500. Thank you brothers, sisters, and sisters, I bow, thank you for tolerating the content I wrote when I was not in good condition. If I am in good condition, I will definitely update it. The plot of Huanyu's change of ownership has been laid out for a long time, but the love variety show has not been finished and it is difficult to start, so it can only be delayed. The plots of the 4 heroines will also be embedded in this plot. As I said, try to write it well. Finally, thank you all for your love. Thank you for the leader reward from brother. I really don't want to install the client. Leader. I am so excited. Thank you for the leader reward from brothers Cao Taiyuan and 0. Broken star mark. I saw the comments, this is the private money of brother 0. I'm sorry to my sister-in-law. Thank you for the 3,000 coins reward from brother Lu Xiaoke. Thank you for the 3,000 coins reward from brother Lulu 1017. Thank you for the 500 coins reward from brother Lai Ugjun. Thanks to Kick the North Sea Dragon Book Friend 1507375 Yaezai Starlight on the Palm 56 Flowers Burial Heart Like a Mirror Tokyo Handsome Guys Corner Journey Fireworks Masters Ibrahimovic for the 100 coin reward. And monthly tickets. Thank you for the monthly tickets. You guys are so awesome this month, I'll give you a kowtow. Dong dong dong. Adding is even more necessary, I'll add it after I understand the plot.